What's up, guys? This is Teresa at Divine Frequency. How are y'all doing today? It is January 1st, 2021, and I thought that I would take this opportunity to do a year in review of my 2020 and share with you guys a little bit about what this last year has looked like for me, kind of as a means to sort of purge some of it, but also to kind of help orient this channel into really what's next. And so I just wanted to do my due diligence here and wipe the slate clean. And boy, don't we all need to do the same. So I'm just going to invite you right now, jump into the comments below. Give me your year in review. Let's have a chat. Man, it's been crazy. But anyway, so I'm just going to start with January. So January of 2020 was an interesting month for me because I had just started to come out of a really bad car accident that I was in back in March of 2019 that put me in the hospital. And it took a long road of recovery for me. And so January of 2020 was sort of that mentality of new year, new me for me, where I was finally able to sort of start moving physically again. And when that started to happen, mentally I started to kind of kick back online too. I don't know, for some of you who have, gone through intense rehabilitation or have had, chronic pain or anything like that, when you're in a lot of physical pain, it's hard to think straight. And so when you're dealing with that kind of level of physical pain, you're really in your body, self-focused on all of that kind of healing process that's going on the physical level. So for me, something that I learned about myself and just about the healing process in general was that after you start to come online physically again, then you start to process things that maybe you hadn't been processing. When we're in a balanced state mentally, emotionally, physically, it allows us to be able to really go through our life in a way that we can process things better, and anyway, it was just kind of a huge realization for me that I kind of had to go through a wave of depression in January of 2020 where you just start to realize, like, okay, these are things in the past that I really need to work through. So it was a lot of inner work for me. Also, early 2020, I decided that I really wanted to start launching some businesses online again. I used to run a lot of different online businesses, and I wanted to get to the point where I could do that again successfully. So I started taking classes. I took some classes on online branding, marketing, all these kinds of things that I'm already like really good at, really experienced in. I have a degree in communication, journalism. And so I started kind of putting money into my education to see where do I really want to go with my entrepreneurship affinities. And so I decided to launch a branding consultancy. I launched some other coaching businesses as well. I got my professional life certification, life coaching certification, sorry. And so there were a couple different businesses that I launched in probably February or March. Well, as you guys know, February or March of 2020, we started to see the beginnings of the global shutdown with the pandemic and everything. And so for me, I went and I launched all these businesses and boom, everything was grounded. And it was really interesting for me because it was like right when I started to really come back online, and I'm like all excited because now I can, move, and I was starting to run again, and my physical body's getting back into shape, and I'm launching businesses and everything's all exciting, and I'm just like looking forward to how it's going to be. And then everything just completely crashes. It was just like rug pulled out from underneath me. Nobody was interested in the businesses that I had launched because it was that time where like everybody was trying to figure out what the heck am I to do. People were trying to figure out what was going on with their employment. People were trying to make sure that they're stocked up with the things that they need to keep in their homes. And there was just mass confusion. I'm preaching to the choir. You guys were there, And anyway, I was just so lucky because at this time I was living with my mother, and I'm just so fortunate. I feel so blessed that I was there living with her during this time because we were able to hunker down together and really process a lot of this together. And, she's a teacher, and so she had to teach from home, and I'm a YouTuber, so I was able to help her get her studio set up. She was having to live stream, and she was having to record videos and learn video editing and all this stuff. So my mom and I got to do some really cool projects together during that time. So that was really an amazing time that I got to spend with my mom that I'm just very grateful that I have. And then it was so tumultuous. And as you guys know, in the fall of 2019, I went to seminary. And then after that semester, I decided that the education I loved. I really want, and I will continue to get theological education on the graduate level. But I learned that I didn't want to go get a Master of Divinity because it's 88 hours. That's a lot of hours. And I was looking at other master's degree programs. I'm like, well, if I want to go for a PhD, really, it would be better for me to go into something like communication, because that's what my bachelor's degree's in. And I feel like I can reach more people, and I can do the theology education on the side, and as a means to educate and inform me for my content that I'm creating and my research. So I started to pivot in 2020 as well with the academic side. So I started to work on an academic study into conspiracy media, and I really started to do research into, since I had left the internet for a year and a half, as you guys knew, there was a lot that I had missed. So when I came back to the internet, it was a completely different arena that I was dealing with, that I had a year and a half worth of data that I did not know about, like current events, because I had just gone completely off the grid. So coming back in and starting to do this research paper about media effects on YouTube, I'm starting to do this research, and I realized like there was a lot that had changed as far as censorship and the types of media that was being censored on YouTube. And a lot of the content that I had been covering previously now was under fire for being called dangerous media, dangerous conspiracies, those kinds of things. And it was crazy because it was just perfectly in alignment with the paper that I was writing and the study that I was doing. So I was learning a lot about that. And I was performing that study in the meantime as, trying to get these businesses going online, COVID stuff happening, all this crazy stuff. Anyway, what happened next? Let's see. Where did things really start to shift? I mean, I think most of us kind of tumbled through. I mean, the summer was a constant kind of ebb and flow of keeping things level. Emotionally for me. I think that, and a lot of you that watch this channel, I would say, are extremely empathic and sensitive and those kinds of things, which I know that I definitely am. And so I was sometimes I just feel the weight of the world. I feel the emotional weight of the world, And so I was doing this kind of process of balancing out, giving it to God, letting God process through what's happening on this supernatural realm of what's going on in this world, and then just coasting and riding that wave of the physical symptoms that we're dealing with and experiencing on this level. So a lot of spiritual transmutation and spending time in the Word and just praying. Like I would get words to pray, and I would just start praying for a long time and interceding on behalf of what's going on in the world. And I know that I talked to a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys are prayer warriors and get that call to start, interceding, praying, lifting up certain people that are experiencing certain things. And I think that 2020 hit us really hard in probably like maybe May, June, for a lot of people that are doing this spiritual work, really started to kick that up a notch. I started to see a lot of push online for mass meditations and prayer and things like that. So that was interesting, and I'm interested in y'all's thoughts on that too. Like how did this affect y'all when everything really started to take off with the shutdowns and the pandemic and all of that? How were you dealing with that on a spiritual level? How are you transmuting that, and what did you learn, and how did you grow? So we were all going through that. And then I was also looking for a job at the time, which was really stressful because, as some of you know, I'm sure a lot of you know, COVID's been really stressful as far as the employment side of things. But then I found a job, and the job that I found, I love my job so much. And I'm a marketing director for a construction company in Fort Worth. And I'm working with people that I've known for a really long time, and I'm just loving it. I adore what I do. I adore the people that I work with, and I just landed in a perfect environment. I'm around people that are just really clued into what's going on in the world, and so we have great conversations, and we're doing great work together, and I love it. I adore it. So that was just a huge blessing to find that job, and I was able to move out, get my own place. So here I'm here in my own place again, and I have a whole room that's dedicated to a studio. So I started to get excited again about getting my studio set up. I can start live streaming again, all of that. Oh, and another thing I forgot to tell you guys about, and I have not verbalized this publicly yet. Back in, I think it was March or something like that, I discovered that I had been, and I don't even know if I can say this word, on YouTube, SHADOWBANNED. I learned that that had happened to me on YouTube. And so I got really angry because I was putting all of my, I was doing, it's a lot of work to make content. I don't know about y'all, but those of you who are content creators, it's a lot of effort to make content. And I was putting so much effort into this quantum mechanics study that, I put together that video on quantum physics for you guys. And I did, I was starting to do a series on this and doing interviews. And anyway, I found out that happened to me. And it really pissed me off. I got really angry because I'm like, I'm working really hard over here and YouTube is deciding that my content's not worth being put into the algorithm. And so anyway, it was just really frustrating. And so I got kind of like disillusioned. And unfortunately, what I realized, and this is when it all kind of came to a head with all the election stuff, when I started to see that things were going a certain way with the election, it was like, I started to realize that the narrative that's being pushed, this satanic agenda, just across, taking this out of the realm of politics and just going up into the spiritual realm, which we do, there's a battle going on between liberty versus slavery. And we're all pretty well aware of that on this channel. So I don't think I'm preaching to the choir here. I think we can all agree on this. And what I discovered was that things are really kicking up a notch as far as the mainstream media and this agenda to take away our rights and our liberties and those kinds of things. And it's already been there because we've been covering that for a long time. It's been happening for a really, really, really long time, thousands of years. And anyway, I just realized that I let them shut me up. Like I got, mad back in March and I was like, well, I'm going to just throw all my energy, all my creative energy into this academic study and stop making YouTube videos and stop making content online. And then I realized like they got me. I let them get me. And I had this huge realization like, oh my gosh, I always pride myself on being like, F the man, we got this, like, gotta use your voice, like, stand up for what you believe in. But then they got me. I let them shut me up. And so anyway, it was like a huge face palm. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, but I had to learn that, I guess. But then I realized, I'm not doing my due diligence and standing up and speaking to these issues. So I decided to start making content again. And then, I did the stream. I published an article in EV Magazine, which I'll link below, about, I don't think that one was about echo chambers. I was talking about freedom of speech, First Amendment rights, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, all the stuff that's going on in the media right now with censorship on big tech and like just all the crazy stuff that's going on. I was just bringing it all in together and saying like, look guys, this is what's happening. They're trying to take away your rights. They're trying to take away your freedom of speech. The censorship has gotten out of control and we need to be talking about this. And all of these channels are just being deplatformed and deleted and all of these things. And it's just like a complete zoo out there. But anyway, I just published my interview with Laura Eisenhower yesterday and I just did a little test, guys. And I checked the box to monetize it and they monetized it. And that gave me a little bit of a push. I was like, okay, they let me monetize this and we're literally talking about the New World Order and the satanic agenda and censorship and all of this stuff, but they let me monetize the content. So I kind of went like, all right, well, I'm just going to keep going then until I get deplatformed. Maybe I won't. Oh, I wonder if I can even say that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I've just decided that all 2020 aside, I'm just going to continue making content. Whatever that looks like, I'm just gonna do it. We've got content coming through Divine Frequency through the blog. I've got amazing authors that are gonna be writing great content in 2021. We've already got like articles coming out. And then I have some guest authors that are going to be publishing content too. We've got a whole new series of advice articles that are coming through that I can't wait to share with you guys. So make sure that you follow the blog, thedivinefrequency.com, so you can check us out over there. But I'm going to be continuing to do the YouTube videos, and I want to start doing more YouTube videos, kind of like this, just kind of stream of consciousness, where I don't have to do too much research beforehand and do the teleprompter and all that kind of stuff, because it takes a lot of time. So if I can just hit record, I didn't even put on any makeup. I'm literally in my pajamas right now. I look ridiculous. I'm wearing, hold on, this is really funny. I've got these pants on and these socks that my sister got me that are, I got little reindeers on it. Like, I just want to start getting content out. It's about the content. It's about, what I have to say, what I want to hear you guys talk about in the comments, so that you're giving me ideas on like what I need to cover, those kinds of things. Let's get this turned up. Let's get this turned back up. I was bullied and I gave in, and that's on me, and I'm not a victim. And I've realized that I just got to keep going until I get shut up. Like, I need to just keep making the content. I don't care if I've been SHADOWBANNED. I'm just going to keep going. So it will be awesome if you guys would share this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe, comment, all the things. But if you share it with your friends and you share my content with your friends, it really helps me, because I don't even know if the algorithm is, I'm probably on so many lists right now. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to this video and for being here with me. And I'm looking forward to 2021. We're going to talk about more content. And I definitely want to get into some more of the spiritual warfare aspects of things, because I've done a ton of research on this. I've experienced a lot. I know you guys have too. So if you have any ideas for content, drop it down in the comments. Also, tell me about your year in review. Tell me what you learned. And I hope that this was useful to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All around us are pieces of the gigantic cosmic puzzle. Let's attune to its frequency. This is Teresa Yanaros at Divine Frequency, signing off.